Hey guys, I made a video called Why Filipinos Don't Get Rich, and it got over 7 million views and 150,000 shares on Facebook in a week. And I saw some of the comments, and a couple of them said, don't listen to him, he's just trying to sell you his real estate program. Which I thought was really funny because I don't have a real estate program to sell. But I thought I would share some of my real estate tips with you for free, because in the video I talked about that I made a lot of money in real estate, and I've been really lucky that I have, and I've learned a lot. I bought my first house when I was 17 years old, actually. Not even officially old enough to buy a house, but I bought it in a trust at that time. And I've bought and sold over 25 houses since then. My first house that I bought was the only house that I didn't make money on, but I would have made money on it if I had known all that I know now. So I'm gonna give you 5 steps to making lots of money in real estate. These are the 5 things that I've learned over the course of 15 years of investing in real estate that have made the biggest difference. The number one thing is don't buy condos. Everywhere you go in the Philippines and really all over the world, people are trying to sell you condos. But here's the reason why you shouldn't buy a condo as an investment. Generally, it is not nearly as good of an investment as a house. This is the reason. Condos have homeowners association fees, HOAs, and that's a monthly fee that you have to pay to the condo complex that you're living in. Now usually if you buy a new condo, they keep those fees really low. Let's say it's just like $100, and it seems like, whatever, I have this fee that I have to pay, and then I get to use the gym and all that kind of stuff. But those fees almost always go up. They do always go up after the condo has been open for a little while, and they keep on going up over time. And this is an extra fee that you just would not have to pay if you owned a house. Another thing is, you don't control anything about that condo, really. The condo is a giant building. What if it isn't well taken care of? What if you don't like the neighbors around? You don't own the land, you're just owning this little unit. So condos generally just do not appreciate the same way that houses do, because you really don't own any land. And so much about making money in real estate is about the actual land that you own. The number 2 tip, and this might be the most important, is where you buy the property. Now, in real estate, everyone says location, 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 but that's not really the whole story. The best home that you can buy is not actually in a good location. Let me explain. The best deals on real estate and the most chance of a house appreciating is actually a house that is in a not very good area. Maybe kind of a little bit dangerous area even, but it's right next to a really good area. So for instance, in Manila, let's say, someplace like the Fort, which is like a really cool place everybody wants to live. It's not a good idea to buy a house in the Fort at this point. Everybody is trying to buy them already. If you wanted to buy a house, buy one right outside of the Fort. Because people who work in those business areas or those really trendy communities, the people who work there generally aren't actually living there, and they need a place to live. So where are they gonna live? They're gonna live right outside of that little trendy area. And when that trendy area needs to start expanding, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna start spreading out, and suddenly you're gonna own a home that you bought much cheaper in what is now the trendy area. I've seen this happen all over the US, and it happens everywhere in the world. You have a really great location, maybe a very central kind of location where it's very easy to travel from, but it's kind of a dingy area. Eventually, those are the areas that explode in price. So don't buy a house in a nice area. Buy one that is next to a very nice area. And preferably one that's kind of a little bit dangerous, or there's maybe a little bit more crime or some reason that the rich people wouldn't want to live there yet. The number 3 tip is generally you should not buy a nice house. One of the last houses that I bought that was worth so much more money after I bought it, I walked into the house. Actually, the door was open because someone had broken the window and was living there illegally, and they had literally been using the bathroom all over the house. I mean, it was completely disgusting. But when I walked in, because I knew the area and it was right outside of a really good, great area, or really rich area, but just outside of it. And when I saw all this human feces around, I knew, okay, this is a great deal, because I knew that most people who walked in that house would immediately walk out and just go, oh no, this is disgusting, I'm not going to buy this place. So the fact that it wasn't that nice clued me in to, okay, who cares? So there's somebody used the bathroom. We just grab the carpet and take it out and suddenly it's gone. But you have to think about the houses that you're buying in that way. You have to see the potential in them, because most people can't see the potential in a house. So the best deals are those houses that need a lot of work. My number 4 tip is how to gauge if a property is actually a good investment or not. And this is how I gauge when it's a rental property. If I can't make at least 1% of the value or the money that I'm putting into that property in rent per month, then I don't buy it. So what I mean is, if I'm buying a property for $100,000, I don't buy it unless I think that I can rent that property out for at least $1,000 a month. If you go by that formula, you'll always buy properties that are good deals and that you're going to make a lot of money on. So at $100,000, if you're renting it out for $1,000 per month, that's $12,000 per year, right? So 12% per year. But now you're going to have different fees that you're going to have to pay, and taxes and insurance and all that kind of stuff. So let's say that that costs you about 15% of your profit on that property. Well, then still you're right at 10% profit per year on the money that you've put into it, or if you've mortgaged it or whatever. So that's the formula that I use, is 1% per month I need to be making on the rent of what I've paid to get that property. And my last tip is on tenant selection. So this basically covers everything within one video that I've learned that has led to the success that I've had in real estate. All in one video. Just refer back to this and you'll basically know everything that you need to make a lot of money in real estate. So that last tip is tenant selection. And really what I found is it all comes down to how much money someone puts down when they move in. So in the US, we have something called a credit score. And a lot of countries have this. And if your credit score is over a certain degree, then I will only ask for 1 month's rent. But that's very rare. I keep that number very, very high. So only people with over a 700 credit score, which is a really phenomenal credit score, do I only require 1 month's security deposit. Everyone else, across the board, 2 months security deposit. So if you're asking for at least 2 months security deposit, there is a very little chance that someone that has that much money to put down as a security deposit will screw up your property or won't pay you. Because one, if you have 2 months security deposit, then you should have enough time to evict them if they don't pay and not lose money. And secondly, if someone has that much in savings, then they're probably pretty good with money in general, and they're going to be generally a better tenant. So it all comes down to that security deposit. I've known a lot of real estate people that only ask for half a month's security deposit, or the most they'll ask for is 1 month's security deposit. And they generally end up always having bad tenants. So 2 months security deposit almost across the board, unless their credit score is just phenomenal. And you'll be fine, and you'll have excellent tenants to take great care of your properties. One of the reasons I love real estate is the fact that we give someone a place to live. I mean, of course, they're paying rent, but we're providing a place for them to live. And my tenants actually mean a lot to me. I care about them and I try and help them out in any ways that I can. And having those great relationships with your tenants will just lead to good vibes in the world. One of my tenants actually now even works for me part-time because she was just an awesome tenant, and I thought, you know what, I've got this part-time job and I bet this tenant would make a really good employee. And so now she actually works for me part-time, is sort of my assistant property manager. So I just love the fact that within real estate, as different than stocks and cryptocurrencies and things like that, within real estate, you're dealing with real people and you're making a difference in their lives, and you have that chance to. So good luck. These tips, I think, are going to serve you very well. This is how to make a lot of money in real estate.